I'd like to welcome author and illustrator Rima Fujita. Her beautiful figurative paintings have been exhibited far and wide, and she better step carefully onto the Green Space stage. Rima was born in Tokyo, attended Parsons School of Design right here in New York City, and lived here for many years. She now lives in California. She's the founder of the philanthropic organization Books for Children on Earth, and you've produced 4 children's books, 5, donated thousands of copies to 82 different Tibetan refugee schools in India, Nepal, and Bhutan. And we are already seeing some of her work projected here at the Green Space. I'd also like to invite Tsechu Dolma to join us here on stage. She is a Tibetan American, born in Tibet, raised in Nepal. She's helped build greenhouses with the aim of creating a sustainable food system for the Himalayas. So welcome to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tsechu, as someone who is working in the Himalayas to help improve the food system there and the conditions, what are you seeing firsthand, and how are people coping with the conditions there?
Yeah, thank you. Well, so when we talk about the Himalayas and climate change, it seems like these massive abstract ideas and these places that are very far away from New York. But tonight I want to share a story of like my recent visit to Nepal. And so I just got back a few days ago, and I visited this little village that's just 80 kilometers north from Kathmandu and 15 kilometers south from the Tibetan-Nepal border. And this village was very hard hit by a landslide just last August. And this landslide claimed 157 lives, and most of them were women and children. And so 8 months after the landslide, we found out this landslide was actually a direct result of a glacial lake outburst flood, which happened upstream. And so 8 months later now, the community is still trying to recover. And we see that, so this is a direct result of climate change, and the community is trying to recover. However, we see that all disparities in development, such as education, health, poverty, gender equality, has all exacerbated, and that now we see less girls enrolled in schools, and we see like more like children out of schools in general, and this is like, it's very difficult for the community to recuperate, and the community sees the need for like enhancing adaptive capacity and like building community climate resilience. However, there's a lack of state presence from the Nepalese government, and instead we see the Chinese government stepping in to build these like massive, the hydropower projects. And so this is like the only sort of development projects we're seeing in these mountain areas, and we cannot continue to have these type of projects anymore. And that's why we need like forums like Pathway to Paris, so that we can have innovators and artists like coming together and like having these spaces to have these very like conversations around smart policies, and like just seeing more change in the region. Thank you.
And the Himalayas are particularly hard hit by climate change, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we read about all these numbers of like the temperature rising, but what does that actually mean? Like looking at the community at the micro level. Yeah, so food security, water security, energy security, these are all issues that we should have smart policies for.
Rima, you were born in Japan. You lived here in New York for many years, but you've developed a fascination for Tibet. How did that happen?
Yes. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for having me, and Jesse especially for inviting me. And then, sorry I fell. I was trying to be dramatic as I'm. Everything started in a dream. In 1993, I had a dream one night, and I heard this voice, and it was a commanding voice. It said, "You must help Tibet now." And that time, I didn't have any internet access at home, so I went to the library on 42nd Street and then spent a whole day researching about Tibet, because I didn't know anything about Tibet. I didn't even know where it was. I didn't even know.
Who was this voice? Who did it seem to be? You don't know.
It's okay. I didn't even know who the Dalai Lama was.
Uh-huh.
So that's how everything started. And I've been very lucky as a full-time artist. That's how I make my living. But I truly believe art has to be a tool, not a goal or destiny. You have to use your tool to serve the society and humanity. Otherwise, to me, art doesn't mean anything. So, thank you, all of you. And so I started Books for Children, which is a labor of love. It's all, entire proceeds go to the Tibetan kids in exile. I donate all my royalties, and it's just for that purpose. And so I made book on compassion, wisdom, health, and on the environment.
That's the latest.
Yes, and a couple years ago, I was talking with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and I told him that I wanted to make my next book would be the book on climate change in the Himalayas. And he said, "It's so important, you have to do it." Actually, he's in Japan right now, and he just gave a climate change conference in Tokyo. And he said, "You have to do the small things, like turn off the light, stop the water when you're not using. You have to do these things." And I do believe that is so important. And the reason I made the children's book on climate change is we have to teach the kids, of course, kids are the future, but we have to teach them really quickly, because the climate change is very crucial, right, as you all know. So we don't really have much time. Kids learn fast, and in fact, when we're children, we have habits, right? We learn from our parents. We still have those habits, whether they're good or not. So if we teach the kids and to do things right for the environment, and they become habit, that's a good thing, right? And I just want to share one story. I divide my time between Southern California and New York now. And when I'm in Southern California, I see people eating outside when it's cold under the outdoor heater. And don't get me wrong, I love people in Southern California. And hello, I know you're watching. But I said, "Why don't you wear a jacket or sweater or eat inside?" And they said, "Well, this is our habit. This is what we do here." But those outdoor heaters, they create so much CO2. Mm-hmm. So this is one of the habits we do. We have to think harder. Yeah.
So in your book, are you trying to, how are you communicating to the kids? What are you telling them?
So I went to Ladakh because I wanted to see with my own eyes what's happening. I went to Ladakh, not Tibet, because I would love to go to Tibet when His Holiness goes back. So I went to Ladakh because geographically it's right next to each other, so the climate is similar. I saw with my own eyes how much glacier is melting. The floods are just awful. There are 5 major rivers in Asia, which is Yangtze, Indus, Mekong, Zanskar, and what's the other one? Can you help me?
The Salween.
Okay, yes. So what I saw was the intersection of Zanskar and Indus River, which was really flooded. And the local guides told me that, which is which never happened before. What happens is like when the flood happens, all the houses made of mud, they just get flushed out. So they're creating a lot of problems I saw with my own eyes. So I wanted to make the main characters as the Himalayan endangered species, like snow leopards. And so kids can relate to the animals, but they're also in danger. And so the kids, the Himalayan kids, the Tibetan kids fly on the back of the crane, which is also another endangered species in the Himalayas. And they go through all of the world witnessing what's happening, the climate change. So it's a wonderful book.
Would you read us just a little portion of it?
Thank you. I would like to share a phrase from the epilogue. I read in Japanese first. 仏教の輪廻転生の教えでは、私たちはこの世を去って再びこの世には生まれ変わってきます。私たちは私たちの本来の子供のためにこの地球をより良い場所にしなければなりません。さらに私たちのホームとして繰り返し慈しむこの地球を守るために私たちは最善を尽くさないとならないのです。A fundamental Buddhist belief is that most of us will return to this place after death. We must make this earth a better place for the children. Also, we must do our best for ourselves too, because we will treasure the earth as our home again and again and again. Thank you.